Welcome to Channel. Trump thought a 25% tariff war would force Canada to its knees. Instead, his plan is blowing up in his face. What he framed as economic domination has exposed a glaring vulnerability in his strategy, one buried deep in a remote stretch of Canadian wilderness that could decide the balance of power in North America. That place is Ontario's Ring of Fire, a vast, mineral-rich region Trump wants but cannot control. Now, his own hardball tactics are pushing Canada to weaponize the very resources America craves. The Ring of Fire isn't just another mining district. This crescent-shaped swath of land in northern Ontario's James Bay Basin contains some of the world's most coveted critical minerals: chromite, nickel, copper, and platinum group metals. The raw materials that fuel everything from electric vehicle batteries to advanced military systems. For years, they remained largely untouched. But Trump's tariff war has suddenly turned this wilderness into ground zero for a geopolitical showdown that could reshape North America's future. When Trump returned to the White House, he wasted no time in slapping sweeping 25% tariffs on nearly all Canadian exports. But here's the fatal flaw. He carved out a softer 10% rate for Canadian energy and critical minerals. Why? Because without them, America's industrial engine would grind to a halt. As mining analyst Elizabeth Stein observed, if Trump didn't desperately need those minerals, they'd have faced the same 25% punishment. Instead, his carve-out has revealed the truth. Canada holds the resources America can't live without. Trump's strategy hasn't just backfired. It has exposed America's Achilles heel. When it comes to American trade, Canada is nothing less than a treasure chest of critical minerals. From uranium to potash, from nickel to rare earth elements, Canada has it all, making it indispensable to U.S. industry. Critical minerals expert Jack Lifton, based in Michigan, summed it up clearly. Canada isn't the problem. It's the solution to America's mineral dependence. Yet Trump's confrontational tactics are pushing away the very ally the U.S. needs most. The irony couldn't be more damaging. What was meant to be a tariff war to bring Canada to heel is instead fast-tracking Ottawa's determination to develop the Ring of Fire on its own terms. Prime Minister Mark Carney has identified the Ring of Fire as a flagship project to jumpstart Canada's economy in the face of Trump's trade assault. Ontario Premier Doug Ford has gone even further, pledging to fast-track infrastructure for the region, boasting that he'd personally climb into a bulldozer if that's what it takes to build the access roads. Trump's heavy-handed strategy is producing the exact opposite of his goal. Instead of locking Canada into deeper dependence on U.S. markets, he's driving Canadian leaders to diversify trade and treat their natural resources not as mere export commodities, but as strategic assets vital to national power. This marks a fundamental shift that could permanently redirect North American resource flows. And the timing couldn't be worse for Trump's larger geopolitical ambitions. His repeated threats to annex Canada and turn into the 51st state have only steeled Canadian resolve to defend sovereignty over their mineral wealth. Prime Minister Trudeau has openly declared that Trump's annexation rhetoric is driven by a desire to seize control of Canada's critical minerals. What might once have been quiet trade negotiations has now become a matter of national pride. But Trump's problems go far deeper than rhetoric. His tariff war is tearing apart the very North American supply chains that, for decades, gave the continent an edge over China. Integrated Canada, U.S. production networks have long been the backbone of North American industrial strength. By dismantling them, Trump risks handing strategic advantages to Chinese competitors already dominating global mineral processing. Canada's response shows just how badly Trump has miscalculated. Ottawa has hit back with $30 billion in retaliatory tariffs, with another $125 billion on the way. Ontario Premier Doug Ford has banned $1 billion worth of American alcohol from the province's liquor stores, scrapped $30 billion in government contracts with U.S. firms, and canceled a $100 million deal with Elon Musk's Starlink. The indigenous dimension adds a layer of complexity that Trump's team clearly never anticipated. Saul Mamakwa, who represents the region where the Ring of Fire is located, has been unequivocal. Indigenous communities will not be steamrolled by Trump's tariff war. His warning is blunt. No trade conflict with Washington can be used as an excuse to override the rights of First Nations who live on and steward these lands. Any accelerated development will require real consultation and benefit-sharing agreements, not the rushed, extractive timeline Trump envisions. Investors seem to grasp these realities far better than Trump's advisors. Market reactions already reflect the understanding that without indigenous partnership, the ring of fire cannot and will not be unlocked. When Trump rolled out his latest round of tariffs, the Dow Jones plunged 700 points. In contrast, Canadian mining stocks surged as investors bet on Ottawa's growing resource independence. Companies like KCO have seen fresh waves of capital, with markets recognizing that Trump's trade war is inadvertently boosting Canada's strategic position in critical sectors that Trump's own response underscores his desperation. On March 20th, 2025, the White House issued an executive order demanding an increase in American mineral production. But geology isn't dictated by executive fiat.